Hello YouTube, welcome to an episode of Just Get It There. I've been wanting to do this video for the past couple days, but I wanted to keep my mouth shut for a little bit to keep myself calm before I went off the rails with everybody from Millis. Now, what's been going on is, for a while I've been having low voltage disconnect on my truck. Ever since I did the transmission stock, the computer stock for this truck has been doing low voltage disconnect. I've been having the adaptive cruise pop on and off, saying it needs to be serviced. Nor here nor there. I've had the truck in the shop numerous times. They kept telling me that there's nothing wrong. They couldn't find nothing wrong with the charging system. And the last service I had it in, they turned around and replaced my windshield. I didn't know that they were replacing my windshield. I had to take the truck over to Kenworth to go get the power steering leak fixed that they found. And then shortly after that, after it was in and out of the shop with Kenworth after one night, and I went, grabbed a load and started heading up towards Ohio. Windshield started to leak, and that's where part of it. The windshield started leaking. Then the camera, their camera that they have, that they restuck on there, instead of taking the old tape off, the old adhesive off, and putting new adhesive on, they put the new adhesive over the old, and it was falling off the windshield. I kept pushing it back, keeping it on there, and yeah, it kept falling, so I ended up getting permission to get it removed. And then I had to get put back on in Richfield. Just for them to take, when I got to Richfield, then I had to get back down to Cartersville for the warranty for them to fix the windshield. Got the windshield taken care of. And while I was there, the light for the adaptive cruise kept staying on. So I let them know about that, and low voltage disconnect. And then they turn around, and I didn't know this. I got messages about trying to minimize this, minimize that, and they sent me a message about restricting my use of coolers. Use one, you don't need two, and then you don't need, because you got the refrigerator. And I'm like, well, I'm thinking to myself, this refrigerator is useless. It barely holds any food that I want to keep in the truck. And then while I was in there, I found out, because the guy that was supposedly head dispatch, I don't know who he is, I barely caught his name, called me up, and he's trying to tell me that with the coolers and all that, eliminate one of the coolers, because I got the refrigerator. And I'm thinking to myself, I've had these coolers basically since I've had one since 2013, 14, and I added the other one, and I had both of these around 2015, 2016. I started using two of them because I never had a refrigerator. Basically, my 40 quart fits right where the refrigerator goes. And there's two different types of outlets for it. There's the one that you plug in for your refrigerator, and then there's a 12 volt that you plug the refrigerator into. That's where I used to put my big 40 quart, put it right in there, no big deal. And I had it I had both of these with Crete, and now that I'm with Mills, I've had the same setup. And Crete, I had a refrigerator too, but like I said, that refrigerator was a basically useless tool at times, because you can't really use anything for it. And when I got that message from him, he's like, you got to disconnect one of your freezers, your coolers, and I'm like, that is kind of hard when I use both of them. And both of my coolers, the little one and the big one, have fuses on them. The outlets that they're plugged into are controlled by a fuse on the fuse panel. So, with that being said, if that was going to blow, one of those would, if I'm going to overwork the electrical system, the charging system on this truck, it would have showed up right then and there. Mind you, this truck is a 2022. So, in retrospect and hindsight, this truck sat for a while they're waiting for parts for these trucks. From 21, 22, 23, part of 24, they were all waiting for parts. They had them all built. And they were all sitting waiting on parts because there was a chip shortage for these trucks and cars and all that during COVID. So you gotta wonder what they did, because when I first got this truck, it kept doing low voltage disconnect. Then I had to get the truck jump started over the holidays, and I ended up over in Eden. Eden had the truck in the shop for a day and then out of the shop for a day and a half. And the last time they had it in the shop, because everything was testing fine, the last day when they go back it out, they ended up having to put 4 brand new batteries in because they had to jump it again. So, yeah, it doesn't make any sense whether these shop techs actually are shop techs, but to me they're more like private investigators worried about what I got in my truck, because they're taking pictures and sending it off to everybody, to the higher ups, saying, oh, he's got this stuff, that stuff in his truck. I didn't modify the truck in any retrospective way. I won't modify a truck. It's not my truck. Adding a cooler doesn't hurt. I see people driving around with 10 times worse stuff than what I have. The only thing I have that I use in my truck and I use every day are my 2 coolers. I have my dash cam in my truck, and I have my GPS, and I have 2 phones. One I use for basically connected to my Garmin GPS, and the other one I use for basically talking to everybody and doing YouTube videos on. The other one will be doing YouTube videos, but that's a different story for a different chat, for something else that I'm working on, thinking about starting, that I haven't done yet, that I'm contemplating on starting another channel. I'm not sure yet. But for the most part, and then today I get messages over to Qualcomm saying, oh, about idle times and all that. I'm sorry. It was 88 degrees here. I'm in South Carolina. I'm on my way to Columbia, South Carolina, where it's going to be close to 90 for the next day or two. So I'm going to idle the truck and keep myself comfortable. You sent me down here where it's hot. It's going to be hot. We're getting into spring, the summer, where it's going to get hot. I'm sorry, but you don't want to spend the money on putting AP. You want to complain about idle time. How about putting APUs on these trucks? As much as I don't mind APUs, I prefer not to have one. But an APU would solve your idling problems. You could run your AC, your heat, all that while the truck's off. You don't need to start the truck up to run your AC anymore, because you got the APU to run the AC. And it's like people will say, well, the KIM system. Yeah, the KIM system that Kenworth has in the Freightliner's Opti idle, to run AC, you have to have, the truck will start up. To run AC. To run heat, if you got an S-bar heater, you don't need to start your truck. But if you're dealing with hot temperatures, you got to run the truck to keep the heat. Even when you get into certain areas, in certain temperatures, if you have the auto shut off, the auto shut-off won't shut off because the truck, it's too hot for the auto shut-off to turn off. Same thing if it gets too cold, the auto shut-off will not shut the truck off because it's too cold. It's got, once it gets to that magical number, whether it gets to the number where it's a little bit cooler, it won't do that. Same thing goes with when it's cold, that once it gets above that temperature, the truck will stop doing that. On, off again. Unlike that, Millis actually, we don't have that. We get to idle our trucks. And all I do is listen to the complaining. Yeah, I understand that freight rates are down, fuel costs is going up again. But yet, you're complaining about us idling the trucks, but yet you haul, most of your freight is over 40,000 pounds. Go with lighter weight. Heavyweight is fine when you're on flat land. When you're up and down in the mountains and the hills like I am, you don't want to haul heavy, you want to haul light. Keep your fuel. You burn more fuel when you're pulling the hills. And if you're not pricing your rates right, then you really need to seriously negotiate how you do things, because you're not doing it right. If you're hauling heavy, your prices should be a lot higher than what you're saying. Even if you're doing contracted freight, your prices should be higher to haul heavy. But for the most part, Mills isn't a bad company. But now that I found out that we got shop detectives that are taking pictures of what I got on my truck, maybe they should look into why they're taking pictures of inside my truck when they don't need to. Like I said, I've never denied that I had all the coolers and that. But 2 coolers, compared to what most people have in their truck? Oh yeah, I forgot. I got a toaster oven. But the toaster oven, I maybe used it twice since I had it. And that's connected to the inverter. And the truck's got to be running for the toaster oven for me to use the toaster oven. Otherwise, I won't even bother, because the toaster oven I found out the one time I used it with the truck off, it kills the battery relatively quick. The toaster oven does. I won't use the toaster oven without the truck idling. But like I said, like, subscribe, comment, share, do what you got to do. Let people know about it. Get it out there. You want to hear more about this stuff? I'll keep you updated as much as I can. Like I said, I've been running. I will get back to your comments. It may take me a little while, but I will get back to them. I may be doing another video tomorrow, depending on what I'm doing, because I only have like 11 hours, and I gain like 9 hours the next day in 2 days. And after that, I gain 4. So I may end up doing a 34 over the weekend, and I may be doing a few videos, depending on how the weather is while I'm here in South Carolina, or if they had me go someplace else. Like I said, I can't complain about Millis. I just don't like the fact that at a shop tech, go in there and do this and do that, and they won't even talk to you. They didn't talk to me at all when the truck came out of the shop. Let me know, hey, your truck's going back in the morning. No, I had to go back in and try to find that out. Then I find out days later, instead of coming in front of me and try talking to me like a human being, they went all the way up. They went up to the people up in Black River, instead of contacting me and saying, hey. And I've dealt with the Cartersville shop numerous times. I've never had a problem with anybody there. But you gotta go above, you gotta report me to, for what reason? Or what are you trying to do? Either get me fired, or what are you trying to do? You know, talk to me like a human and stop going to the higher ups above me and just talk to me. If you think something that may be causing something, talk to me. Tell me, hey, we did this, this, and this, but we noticed you have this, this, and that. You know, talk, communicate. You know, they expect us to communicate between the shop and them and everybody else in between. But when it comes to the shop communicating to us, no, they're not allowed to. They gotta go right up. They gotta go right up the chain of command and pass everything on. But check out Millis if you're interested. If you're not, that's up to you. I don't, no skin off my back. Whether or not I'm still here after this video, because if anybody from Millis watches this, they may terminate me after that. We'll see. But like I said, every company's got their pros and their cons about everything that they do. Right now, my truck is not even running. I had it running earlier because it was hot and it started to cool down because the sun went down, so I turned the truck off. I ran it to get this truck cool. Right now, I got my window open, the sleeper windows are open, the vents up on top are open. I'll run the truck before I go to bed, and that call it a day. But until then, we'll see you on the next one. Like I said, if you got any comments, sorry this video is probably all over the place. Probably makes little sense to anybody, but if you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out. Like I said, like, subscribe, you know, do all the YouTube stuff to make YouTube go crazy. Talk to you later. Bye for now.